Mariana Tencio there for us in Jacksonville. So people living in public housing, specifically elderly people, they're feeling the crunch. So are America's veterans. They are feeling the pain as well. The Military Times reporting that nearly a third of the federal workforce is made up of veterans, and an estimated 248,400 of whom are not getting paychecks during the shutdown. We should note that the Veterans Administration is itself not affected by the shutdown. It is up and running. Let's bring in Paul Rieckhoff, founder, CEO of Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America. Paul, it's always good to have you. Thanks for coming in. What are you hearing from our veterans, from the folks that you work with? What are you hearing from them about all of this?
Deep concern, and I think at this point, betrayal. One-third of our overall federal workforce is made up of veterans. These are folks who've served overseas and have been told, hey, come home, get a good government job, continue to serve your country, and you're going to get a steady paycheck, you're going to get stability, you're going to continue to serve. These are the people who impact every single department of our federal government, and they're hung out to dry right now. These are also folks who were a couple months ago waiting for GI Bill checks, right? So this seems to be happening over and over again uniquely to our community. But even more urgently, in our opinion, is the impact on the Coast Guard. You've got over 40,000 people who are in the Coast Guard who tomorrow may not be paid. These are the people who are guarding our shores. We are a nation at war. We're concerned about terrorist attacks, and we're not going to pay the people on ships and boats protecting us. That, I think, is the apex of how this really impacts our national security and our economy and the moral compact we have with our veterans. It's devastating.
My brother-in-law is a coastie. He's in the Coast Guard, went to the academy, one of those folks who has been furloughed. And one of the things that, and this isn't from him, this is from me, one of the things that I think a lot of folks probably find especially galling is that a number of these folks are being asked to show up for work, and they're not being paid. And with the Coast Guard, ironically, these are guys that don't just protect us from terrorists, they stop the drugs. So you've got an administration that has contended from the beginning that part of the reason that they want this wall is to stop drugs. And for all we know, that drugs might be coming through our water borders now because they are more porous. What resources, for folks who are watching and listening, veterans specifically here, what resources are available to them right now?
Well, the nonprofit community's rallied. IAVA's stepping up along with other veteran support organizations. Our rapid response referral line has been ramped up to try to support this, but we definitely can't handle this kind of a workload. You asked earlier, how do our members feel? Most of them actually don't care about the wall. They don't care one way or another. They care if they get paid, right? They want food on their table. They want to be able to pay their bills. They want politics to be removed from their everyday life, especially because they're doing jobs that are so important. They're also a huge part of the TSA. Every time you've gone through an airport, you've probably seen a sign that says the TSA hires veterans.
That's right.
They've been doing that for 15 years, and now they're hung out to dry. So we need everybody in the philanthropic community to step up. We do need direct support from the White House. If they're going to keep the government shut down, tell us where to send folks, because the nonprofit community can't handle it alone. There's a really important point here, Craig. Our enemies are celebrating this. We are weakening ourselves from within, and anybody watching overseas that wants America harm is looking at this and licking their chops. That's why the politicians and the president specifically, as the commander-in-chief, have to end this shutdown. Tomorrow, veteran service organizations are going to rally in Washington at 2 p.m. to unite and call for a shutdown, put our national security, our vets, and our country ahead of the politics.
Paul Rieckhoff. Paul, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate
it. Here is something on a Monday morning that should make you smile. Sue Morse. She wanted to do something special for her dad on his 96th birthday. So she did what we do. She posted a note there on Facebook. She asked for people to send World War II veteran and Purple Heart recipient Dwayne Sherman a birthday card. She hoped that he might get around 100. Well, folks delivered in a big way. Sherman got more than 50,000 birthday cards from all 50 states and 10 countries as well. Among those who sent letters, elementary schoolers, prison inmates, the Secretary of the Navy, even the Pittsburgh Steelers, and everywhere in between, all of them thanking Mr. Sherman for his service, certainly making his birthday one for the books.